Hello everyone and welcome back to another Universe Sandbox video, and actually welcome back to my custom solar system as well, or a older version of it, as if you didn't know, when the game updated to update 25, it actually did delete it deleted all of my simulations, all of my saved objects. Luckily I had backups, which is what this is, but I've actually lost my most recent save, so I thought today, why not go through it all on video and then fix it and just sort of rebuild it. And I'm going to go for the realistic style simulation today, as I completely lost that simulation, which really does suck. So I'm going to be making it in today's video, guys. So yeah, without further ado, I'm just going to get straight into this. But yeah, so if we just look up here, I had the enhanced version, I had the version from update 24. I have another copy now from my backup, but I lost my realistic version, so that's what I'm going to be attempting to redo today. So yeah, the realistic custom solar system, or as close as I can get to being realistic, I'm going to try and fix it back together today. So yeah, let's get straight into this. So obviously the sun, nothing needs changing here, it's completely fine. Mercury as well, still saved. Luckily the old save has it exactly the way I want it, so just a grayed out version of its normal texture there, so nothing needs changing there. So yeah, that's Mercury done. Its trail colour, I'm not going to change either. It's grey, that's happy, well, that's completely fine to me. Then we're moving on to Venus now. So Venus, again, not too much I want to change with here. It may be a little different to some real images, but Venus is quite a hard one to actually get done. But yeah, for now, I'm going to leave Venus the way it actually is. I'm just going to make sure its size is all correct. So it's actually a little too large, so that does need to have or be slightly altered, I believe. So it needs to be 6052, not 62. So we're just going to go ahead and change that like that. So there we go, just a very minor change, but yeah, that is Venus. So there we go, and it's still named Venus, so it should have red clouds, I'm hoping. Let's see here, or has it got a space in front of it? Because if I remove the space, the clouds should change, I think. But you can't really notice it just because the atmosphere is very bright on this sky, on this custom version. But yeah, there we go. So I'll leave that the way it is. But actually, one thing I am going to do to this, I'm going to give it a slight, here we go, I'm going to give it a slight interface change. As right now, it's a bit grey, so I want to give it a slightly more, a colour slightly more to match its sort of acidic atmosphere there. So I'm going to go with something like that. So just a little more close to the regular sort of Venus in the game. Now onto Earth. So we're going over here. Earth is pretty fine, actually. But I know from, since this is a save from the older version, I am going to reset the Earth. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to replace it with a brand new Earth, because I know when you bring back old simulations into the newer game, it does like to mess around with it a lot. So there we go. So I've got a brand new Earth here. Interface, I'm going to make it a little more of a nicer shade of blue. So there we go. So that gives us where's our oh yeah, we need to click play, don't we? But yeah, there we go. So play. There we go. So give it that nice shade of blue now. So it goes sort of like a sky blue. Let's sort of go for something like that, I think. And then atmosphere color, I'm gonna slightly boost the atmosphere as well. So yeah, where are we? So just give it just a tad boost, just to make it a little more blue. So yeah, there we go. I'm going to go with something like that. So yeah, there we are. So that is the Earth done. So yeah, not really too much change there either. But we've got a nicer looking trail now. Then moving on to Mars. This one as well. It's already pretty good for what it is. But I'm going to alter its colour slightly to make it more matching the actual planet. So let's give it a slight more orange, sort of very like paley orangey red. So that's our Mars trail there. So yeah, there we go. I'm liking the way that's looking. And then the atmosphere on this sky, let's also check it. So we want to make it match the surface as close as possible here. So let's just have a few little tweaks of it, just to try and get it to sort of match. So how are we doing here? So I'm thinking maybe something like that. So there we go. Because Mars' atmosphere, if we compare it to the regular Mars, for instance. So yeah, where are we here? So let's put the regular Mars. Oh, there was a regular Mars frozen. So yeah, this is just sort of showing the bugs in the game. I mean, I just spawned a brand new Mars, and it's already broken. So yeah, really crazy. But you can still see its atmosphere colour there. Yeah, surface colours, I'm not sure that is default. That seems very buggy. I don't know why it is doing that. That is, oh, it seems very bright for some reason. That's very strange. But yeah, there we go. So there's the best sort of look we can get. This atmosphere, but this atmosphere is very red. It's too red, basically. So yeah, this version here, we have sort of got it matching to the actual planet surface, which I think looks better. And yeah, it's what we've had on the custom versions for quite a while. But just getting that exact shade, just got to have a little tweak with it just to get it exactly how you want it. So we'll sort of darken it down, I guess, because yeah, there you go. So it's sort of that pinkish, sort of palish, pinky sky. So let's just go ahead and actually just disable everything. So just get a closer look at it. So I think that is quite a decent attempt at it. So yeah, there we go there. So this can sort of be a guide if anyone else wants to sort of copy this as an example, if you want to make a realistic sort of looking solar system. So we've got all of the inner planets done now. I think Venus, I'm going to slightly tweak your interface. I want to make it a little, I'm going to make it a little brighter. I don't want to make it too much like Mars though, so I'm going to move it more to the yellow sort of, orangey yellow sort of area. I'm going to have it sort of around there. So how's that looking? So there we go. So we've got Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. There we go. So they're all custom colours. I think it may be a little too yellow actually. So we're going to give it a slight. There you go. The trail colour doesn't really matter though, because it's not really changing the colour of the object. But I think yeah, there we go. I think that you can definitely tell it's a different shade from Mars there. But it's just a few tweaks to get it exactly how we want it there. So how are we doing? Or maybe more of a whitish. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to put more white in there. There we go. So I'm going to roll that for Venus. Then we've got the asteroid belt object. So one thing I'm going to do now, most of the asteroids are grey. I'm pretty sure we can mostly agree on that. So what I'm going to do with the asteroids is interface. I'm just going to simply put them all to grey. So yeah, there we go. Instead of having all these like shades of orange and browns, we're gonna toss them all straight to grey. Which I sort of had this in the other simulation before it all got removed, which is quite annoying. But yeah, definitely want to update all that. Where's Ceres? I am going to give Ceres a slightly different. I'm going to give it a very, very light pale blue. So yeah, there we go. Just since it is the most noticeable object in there, it's going to have a slightly different colour, because it does have little specks of bluish colour on its surface there. So we're going to give that just a very, very greyish blue. Like you can barely tell there's blue in it, but it is going to be slightly different from the other asteroids in there. So that's how I want Ceres, and then all the asteroids are done there. So now moving on to Jupiter, this one is completely broken, as it is the old version of the mega banded one. So as we can see, that this is broken, the bands are all in the wrong place, the red spots are all broken. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to replace this. And I know obviously anyone who wants to follow this as a guide can't get this one, but yeah, I am actually going to use the custom Jupiter, and we're going to put that in place instead. So there we go, so that should replace it. And then it should spawn. There we go. So there we go. All the bands are fixed on this one. There is no red spot because the red spot doesn't spawn in the correct place anymore. But yeah, that Jupiter is now fixed. So yeah, there we go. And then obviously the trail colour. We're going to click play. There we go. So trail colour I am going to give a slight change to as well. So where are we here? Appearance. Obviously we're going to have to scroll all the way through the band colours there, as there is a lot of them, as we can see here. So yeah, there we go. And then interface colour. That's what we want. So how do we want our Jupiter to look? So I guess we could see that's a little too orange. I think so. I think it should be a shade of like a greyish sort of orange. So not like Venus, but I think it should have its maybe more of a lighter. Because obviously it does look quite similar to Venus right now, but we obviously want it to look slightly different. So I'm going to make it a little more pale there. But yeah, I do want it to look different from Venus. So yeah, there we go. So I'd say right now, so yeah, that menu is very laggy of all those bands. But yeah, I'd say you can definitely tell there's a difference between that and the Venus trail, but I do want to make it slightly different again. But yeah, this Venus, or this Jupiter, sorry, we do not want to make too much changes to it, as yeah, it does take quite a while to open the menu compared to the other objects, as you can see. So yeah, it's a pretty weird one, but yeah, I think I'm going to go a lot more pale. So we are going for a realistic feel here, so we don't want to have the colours too amplified up. But yeah, I think that would be appropriate for Jupiter. And then moving on to Saturn now. Saturn, again, the only object, or pretty much the only object in the solar system other than Earth, which literally doesn't need changes. Saturn, I think the regular Saturn is pretty much perfect. I don't think there's too much need and change here. But interface, we're going to give it a slight increase on the brightness there. And I'm also going to give it a more yellowish tone. So yeah, how are we? So very, very light sandy sort of yellow, because Jupiter's more of a got more sort of orangey sort of shades, I'd say, but Saturn's more of that sandy sort of yellow. Obviously Jupiter, you can really see the orange areas on it there, so it gets the sort of more pale orange, but Saturn gets the more pale sort of yellow. So yeah, there we go. But yeah, I want to go ahead and just give it make it slightly brighter there. So yeah, there we go. So we've got Jupiter and Saturn there. Now moving on to Uranus, I'm going to completely replace the object in here, as it is the size of it and settings are all off. So we're just gonna replace it with a fresh new Uranus. So there we go. So we're gonna go ahead and spawn the regular one in. So yeah, we've got this guy back now with its regular trail. But yeah, we're gonna go straight to appearance. And now this one we're actually gonna edit the bands with. So yeah, there we go. So we're just going to spam click. We are going to remove all of these, get rid of that very, very deep shade of blue. Because yeah, if we're going for realistic, this Uranus will not do us the job. So we're going to just remove all of them. And I'm going to go down to completely just one band. And then we're going to go to the sort of lighter shades of blue. So yeah, you can see what I'm getting at here. So I'm going to get like the sort of shades. And then we're going to do that. So there we go. So it's a very, very bland, no amplified colors whatsoever. It is purely based to match the sort of images we have of it. So yeah, a very, very pale Uranus, but it's still got that shade of blue. We'll go on we'll use a new directional light. There we go. So that new setting there. But yeah, there we go. So a very, very, very bland Uranus. Because if I was going to go with the amplified, I'd probably go something like this. But yeah, we're going to, not white, obviously. We don't want white, but we're going to go with extremely light blue compared to what I'd normally have right here with my amplified version. But yeah, we're going to go with a very sort of very, very, very pale, but you can still tell it's blue because sort of like the real deal. You can tell it's blue, but it's very, very, very pale. Not too much going on there because obviously, yeah, there we go. But obviously, if I want to add a second band, I don't want to do that because I think just having it all one shade looks better. So we're just going to have that one band right there. And obviously interface color, again, we're just going to have it as a very, very light blue. So yeah, there we go. So if we look at the interface now, that is what we have got. And I think that's looking pretty good. So yeah, just a very, very light. I think actually just maybe tweak it just a tad more just to really get that blandness in there. So there we go. So something like that, I think. So you can tell it's a very, very light shade of blue, but that is about it. So yeah, there we go. So Uranus, done. Right, there we go. And now moving on to Neptune. Obviously, since we're going for the realistic version, we've got to replace our beautiful amplified version here. So we need to replace this. And I've actually got an object which I haven't actually put in the custom solar system for. That is going to be the Mega Neptune. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So which one is it? Oh, there's two of them. I don't know which one it is. We'll just try both of them. So we're going to use this. So here we go. We're going to replace that. So that should spawn. No, that's the wrong one. Okay, so we need to replace it again. But yeah, this is the one with loads and loads of bands. So this is the Mega Neptune blue tint. So we're gonna search Mega again. So to have to make sure we get the correct one. There we go. We want this one. So we're gonna replace it with that. So there we go. So this has a lot more bands than the regular Neptune. So it's basically just like an amplified version of the regular Neptune for bands instead of colour. So we'll compare it to the regular Neptune quickly. But yeah, there we go. So there it is there. So it's just a more realistic focused version of the regular Neptune here. So there's not too much changes, but yeah, if we're going for realism, we're going to go with the one specifically designed for that. But one thing we need to do with Mega Neptune is its size is completely off, as we can see. So we need to pull it to 17.1 masses of Earth. So let's go ahead and do that. So this could take a little time to tweak. But yeah, there we go. We're going to turn calculator radius off for the time being. So then we need 24,622 there. And then density, we want 1.64. So there we go. So 1.64. There we go. So that should make it. So there we go. So it's already sort of matching up now. So yeah, the density is very important when you're trying to get sizes correct. But yeah, there we go. So 24622, and then we have got 24. Okay, so we need to change the values here. So we're gonna lock the. We're gonna lock that, and then 24. And then 622, hopefully that. There we go. Oh, no, it just made it go up by one mass. No, please don't do that. We are so close to getting it. Perfect. 0.1. Oh, no, it's going to do that, isn't it? Ah, that's a shame. Trying to get it exactly right. And it's going to be a bit of a nuisance. So, come on, let's try that again. So, 24. And then 622. Come on. No, see, just the values are such a pain when you're trying to get custom objects. I don't know why the Mega Neptune isn't the same as the regular Neptune already. I think it's just the way it's been designed. It's probably designed off a different object. But yeah, it's gonna make it very nasty to try and get exactly right. But I can also tweak this in my own time. But for now, that's practically correct. But yeah, it still has to be larger than what Uranus or Uranus is in mass, and then the radius has to be slightly smaller. So we just have to make sure the radius is probably the most important, along with the mass. The density doesn't matter as much, but I want to get the mass and the radius pretty much correct there. So the mass is correct, but the radius is 24. That's very frustrating. But we're just gonna lock it. So then we got 24. 622 like that. So, oh, there we go. Oh, and it didn't change the density. Okay, so that is correct then. So yeah, we got 17.124622 and then 17.1. Okay, so sweet. So that's done. So we can delete the regular Neptune now, and then we got our new custom Neptune implemented into the system now. But yeah, one thing I want to check is it tilted correctly, this guy? Because it seems like it seems like this one isn't tilted as much compared to the regular Neptune. Yeah, the regular Neptune is tilted way more. So we're going to just try and tweak it to get it. I don't know if I'll be able to get it exactly correct. Can we change in the motion settings maybe? I don't know if we can really affect that. So motion. So rotation, tidal effects, obviously we want that. See, I'm not sure you can change the tilt in here. I think you have to do it manually. So, okay, never mind then. We'll just have to try and sort of, guess. Or is it, no, it's not that. I don't think so. Let's just go back on flashlight. So we've got to just sort of use some estimation here. So we're just going to go ahead and slightly put that like that. So there we go. So I'd say that's roughly, obviously it's not going to be exactly the same, but that's roughly the closest I can get, I think. So there we go. Then if we click play, its orbit should just take over the current Neptune's orbit. So there we go. So we've got Mega Neptune in here now. And then what we need to do with this guy is we need to give it its custom trail color. So there we go. So there's all its bands. So quite a lot of those guys in there. So yeah, there we go. I may tweak around with some of these as well, but yeah, there we go. So then obviously for Neptune, we're obviously going to want the good shade of blue. Then we need to make it a little lighter, so that gives us that now. So looking good, and then that interface is practically matching the band, some of the band colors it has. So perfect. All right, awesome stuff. So there's that's all of the planets done now. One thing I want to do is I want to head back to this sky as well. Obviously, it doesn't need to be an amplified color, so I'm just going to make it grey. So there, and then the same with Chiron as well. We're going to just quickly grey those guys out. So there we go. Since they're just asteroids pretty much, they don't need any fancy colours on the realistic solar system version. So there we go there, and then this guy. There we go. Okay, so that's looking good. I'm liking that. So we've got our sort of bland trail colours out here. So we've got Uranus and Neptune. Very happy with the way those guys are looking. So yeah, Uranus and then Neptune there. So Uranus is very, very bland. So yeah, there we go. But that can obviously be tweaked to just make it a little more perfect. So I think maybe just a tad more. See, Uranus is quite a hard one to go for there. Obviously, with the names, we also need to just put it as Neptune. So the Mega Neptune, we don't need that. That's just for the save. So there we go. So get that capital N in there. There we go. So and then the same with these guys as well. So Jupiter. So yeah, there we go. So that can just be Jupiter. Saturn's already fine. I believe all of the inner planets are okay. Yeah. Venus, Mercury. Okay, so they're all good. There we go, all of those guys. I think Saturn, just looking at Saturn again, I think we just need to make it just a tad more white. I think a bit all too much yellow in there for my liking. So yeah, that's too much yellow, 100%. We need to just slightly, I may just darken it as well. We're gonna sort of grey it out a bit more. There we go. I think that's looking slightly better for Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Okay, so there we go. Now moving on to where are we? So Pluto. Pluto's trail colour is already practically fine. Obviously, we need to head back because I don't think its atmosphere is showing. Why is its atmosphere not showing? So what I'm going to do with Pluto is we're going to put a fresh new Pluto in. So yeah, there we go. So I want to edit this. So where are we? Pluto. We're going to head down here, replace. So that should have its atmosphere reapplied. So yeah, there we go. Right, and then I do need to put full stops here because the game is known. Whenever you save an object called Pluto, sometimes with just Pluto without the full stops, sometimes it makes the object smaller. But if you put the full stops in, I've worked out that it doesn't actually do that. So it's very, very funny. I don't know why it does it, but yeah, there we go. So that's our new Pluto now. And then what I want to do here is interface color. No, surface. Where are we? Atmosphere. The atmosphere even in that. So atmosphere is off at the moment. Okay, so I'm just going to reapply it. So we'll just put something very small because it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it does have its atmosphere. Let's see how we're doing. So surface colors, interface color. No, do we need to close it and reopen it, or do we have to do the whole simulation? So there we go. Atmosphere color. Then we're going to put it to white. So there we go. So like so. So then our atmosphere should be. Is our atmosphere being shown? We need to go back to realistic, I think. Atmosphere, you visible? No. Okay. I mean that's very strange. I don't know why it's doing that. It looks like I think I saw a. There's a little white dot on the top of it. What is that? Is that like a glitch piece of water or something? I'm sure I saw something. Whereabouts is it? Yeah. What is that? That isn't usually there. this circle. What is that? That's not usually there on Pluto. So what's going on with Pluto? That doesn't look correct. I'm not sure. Does it normally look like that? I don't remember it all being 100% silicate. And they may have just updated it though. That seems a little interesting. Maybe if I just replace it again with a new, or I could just do it with an older version. So if I just search Pluto, so let's just use Pluto ATM. I know this one's a reliable save. So there we go. So is that gonna fix it? No. See, there's got these white splodges on them. I don't know why it's doing that, and I think that could be why the atmosphere isn't working. See, this one, yeah, atmosphere color is enabled there. We do have an atmosphere. Atmosphere is enabled, so I don't know why Pluto's atmosphere is not showing up. Maybe it's just a glitch. I have no clue whatsoever. If I just add water and remove it, maybe that helps, because it looks like that white spot just disappeared when I added water. So I don't know why. Very, very strange. I have no clue why it's doing that. The atmosphere still is. There is no atmosphere visible. So I don't know why it is doing that. That seems very strange. Yeah, atmosphere color, is it there? No, I'm not seeing any changes. So it's red right now. There's definitely no red atmosphere there. So I've got no clue why it's doing that. I'm thinking it must be glitched. I mean, I don't know. Is it 10? What? Yeah, that doesn't seem. Or surface pressure. Yeah, that doesn't seem entirely right. Right to me. So I think Pluto's just broken. So it doesn't look like we can have the atmosphere, unfortunately, there. But yeah, there we go. So that's Pluto. So and then trail color for Pluto. I don't really think we need too much changes here. I may just give it a slight darken it. So how does that look? So yeah, it seems a little too orange actually. I want to make it a more of a creamy sort of color. So maybe something like that. So it's kind of similar to sort of the Jupiter and Saturn, but it's more paled out actually. So I just want to make it just a tad brighter. I think there we go. So something like that. So that's Pluto done. Now moving over to Eris. How's Eris doing? So I think this should be a Pluto texture which is completely whitened. So yeah, that's fine. So Eris is completely fine. It already has a white trail, so that's completely fine there. So that's already safe. So yeah, if you wanna make this Eris, I'll quickly do a quick tutorial pretty much of how I made this one. So we go. So spawn a Pluto in next to it. So here we go. So Pluto, surface colors, we want custom. And then I did this, I believe. So how are we doing? And I got something like that, I believe. I believe this one had a slight mod in it, but yeah, that's practically how I would make my Iris now if I had to remake it. So yeah, there we go. Let's see here. So yeah, that's completely whitened out. Completely white. Yeah, there we go. So that's pretty much what I would make if I needed to make a new custom Iris. But I think as well, I sprayed water on it and then I froze it. I think this guy has water frozen on it. Yeah, it does. It has frozen water. That's why I did it. So yeah, with this guy, obviously we'd need to move it away from the current Iris. We do not want it affecting that whatsoever. So we're just going to place it all the way out here. That's not going to get affected. So if I click play, that will freeze over, and then there you go. That is how I got my custom Iris. So there we go. That's a complete replica of the one we just saw there on a Pluto now. So that's how you make the, or that's how I make my custom Iris. So yeah, there we go there. So Pluto's quite a good texture to play around with. So yeah, there we go. So that is Pluto done. Obviously, now moving out, we have the other objects like Sedna, far out. Obviously, we don't even know what these guys look like, so I'm going to leave them as B, Planet 9 as well. I think that's fine, the Goblin, all of that. So yeah, there we go there. And then, yeah, other than those guys, I think all of the other dwarf planets, I'm just going to grey their interfaces out as well. So instead of having all these mixes of browns and greys, I'm just going to make them all relatively the same shade. So where are we here? So let's just do that nice and simple. There we go. So this one actually, so Make here, or make, however you want to say it. I'm going to leave that one slightly reddish, because this one I believe is supposed to have like a reddish sort of tint to it. So yeah, I'm going to leave that the way it is. But I think, yeah, I'll give this a slight customization. So something like that. So I believe it is meant to have I think this one, like Sedna, is supposed to or is believed to have like a reddish sort of color to it. So that's what I'm going to do for this guy. So it's got a slight tad of red in there. So yeah, so there we are. Don't want to make it too red though, but yeah, there we go. So just have so sort of like a Sedna-like red colour to it. So there we go. I think that's all right. I can obviously come back and edit that interface. I think is fine. Just a slight red, not as much as Sedna, but yeah, I'm gonna have it as a slightly reddish shade there. So it's, yeah, Make, Iris, and Pluto are the only ones with custom trails that I am gonna go with here. So there we go. and then the rest of them I just need to simply grey them out. So how are we doing? So let's just go ahead and quickly get through all of these, and I believe that is pretty much all of them. So yeah, we got this one is obviously different. Sedna's red, Far Out, Goblin, Planet 9. They've all got different ones, but yeah, all of the other ones which we never really even cover, all of these ones have just got greyed out textures. So yeah, there we go. So it's just there we go. So grey. So now it also makes it easier to spot the orbits as well. But yeah, there we go. So I think I am done for my realistic focused solar system. I'm not going to completely say it's completely realistic, because obviously there's probably loads of tweaks that could be done. Any feedback as well you guys may have to improve this, let me know down below as well. And obviously I'm going to save this simulation. So there we go. So instead of being enhanced, this is going to be the new realistic version. So there we go. So just realistic. It's not update 24 anymore. So, and then we'll call it realistic 2.0. As the original one is very, very lost, which is a shame. But yeah, there we go. So also I need to update that picture as well, actually. But yeah, there we go. So let's get that saved before anything happens. So yeah, there we go. I'm definitely going to back this simulation up as well. But yeah, that is my realistic focused solar system simulation now. So hopefully you guys enjoyed me setting this up. Let's just get a lineup of all the objects together now. So can I click on it, please? Stop zooming in. So yeah, there we go. And then, okay, looking good. So yeah, radius, that's all fine. So all of the planets are looking very good together. The custom Neptune, I think, looks really cool next to the Uranus and Planet 9 there. The pale sort of colours of it, I definitely think it fits that realistic feel a lot more than the regular Neptune does. I think the regular Neptune may have a little too much blue in it, but I think this one does a good job there. Obviously, we've already got the Jupiter as well. So in theory, you could actually make this in the game, I think, but it would take a lot of practicing to get it exactly that like that. But I think that in theory is possible. Saturn's completely fine, same as ever. Uranus is a very easy one to make now. You just put one band on it and make it a very, very bland pale color. There we go. Neptune as well. You could probably tweak the regular version to make it more pale like this. Planet 9, very, very simple one to make as well. You just need dark colors like this, simply just mix a few different colors. Here are the colours if you want to get an exact replica as well. But yeah, there you go. So it's very, very easy to make the Planet 9. Obviously, the Earth, all we did to the Earth, very simple change to the atmosphere. Venus, this is actually a modded one. You can't actually get its atmosphere colour. Its atmosphere colour is a colour which you can't click on for some reason in the colour spectrum thing here. So this one is still modded exclusive, but you probably could get something quite close to it by modding the game. I mean, look, if I quickly spawn in a Venus, so we'll spawn it in right now, and I will try and replicate this. So Venus, atmosphere. The regular Venus is a shade of green. It's like a lime green almost. I mean, that is not entirely right, but yeah, there we go. So I'm going to quickly attempt to get as close to that as possible. So there you go. I mean, it's not exactly the same, but I'd say that's already a much better job with this sort of shade. I think maybe a tad more. No, that's way too much. But yeah, sort of around this sort of colour shade. I think I guess something like that would be, I mean, it's a little similar to Titan almost, but that's sort of what I can come up with very, very quickly. But obviously, a lot more colour practice would be needed to get it exactly the way you want it. But it's all up to interpretation of the creator of the simulation as well. So obviously, everyone could have different views or ways the planet should look. But I mean, I think that's a better looking Venus than the one we already had in the game. But yeah, there we go. No, I don't want interface, I want atmosphere. But yeah, there we go. So that's sort of like a Venus sort of replica there. It's not the same as the modded one, but I mean, I think that's a lot better than the regular one in the game. But let's just go ahead and remove that. Where are the planets gone? Planets, come on, get back together. And then obviously moving on to Mars now. Very simple job for Mars. Literally, you just have to change the atmosphere color. And that's what I came up with in the end, something like that. So there is Mars. Mercury, also quite an easy one. You just change the texture to make it more grey. So you just go to surface colors. I know it says default here, but that's because this one was modded. But if you just go to custom, you can like tweak it, make it the grey shade you want as well. So I mean, if I just make it more white, for instance, you can sort of work on a custom Mercury by doing that as well there. But yeah, there we go. So there we are. Pluto's the same. No clue why the atmosphere isn't showing up. Eris is a completely white Pluto with frozen ice on it, which gives you that. I think it looks really, really cool. Then obviously we had Make here, or Make. Slightly reddish tint to it. Sedna, I haven't changed that in years. that one doesn't really need changing since we don't really even know what Sedna looks like. And then there we go. So we also have the Goblin out here. That's obviously made off the art, concept art for it. We had Far Out, which is the slightly pinkish one. And yeah, there we go. So that practically is every object in the solar system with a custom variant now. So in a more realistic feel as well. Obviously, it's a lot better job than my amplified coloured planets. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this realistic 2.0 simulation I've made here. And yeah, any feedback would be appreciated. Any tips or changes I should make, let me know down below in the comments. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed me going through and rebuilding my realistic version of the solar system today, guys. And yeah, let's see if we can go for 30 likes on today's video. Also, subscribe if you're new. Helps on the journey to 13,000 subscribers. It means the world. It is absolutely amazing. And a massive thank you for watching today's video as well, guys. But yeah, with that all out the way, make sure you all have a great day. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.